It's Chris Murphy, and I want to do a video on my ayahuasca experience. I really want to be able to answer questions around who we really are, like what is really happening, what life is all about, to actually experience that, to really feel who you really are on that sort of wavelength. And I want to explain it as best as I can in this video, which obviously might be quite tricky, but I want to do my best to explain that. So when I first took it, it did take a while to come on. I had to drink quite a bit of the ayahuasca tea that was given to me. But once it finally kicked in, within 10 or 15 minutes, I just remember it was like I, had maybe like half fallen asleep. And then I woke up, and then it was like I woke up from a dream. My whole life had been a dream. And when I was in that state, it was like I was everything. I was this like love that, I feel like we chase our whole life, to really feel that connection, that love you probably really feel with your family, or when you first fall in love, that kind of feeling. You just have access to it. It's kind of like it's already happening, but it feels quite strange. It's very hard to put into words. I know a lot of people who've done this didn't really get that kind of feeling, but it was as if my whole life I'd felt left out, and the reason that was like my experience in this life has been to feel left out, to feel I'm not quite fitting in with everyone, but only then to realize that I'm not left out. I'm part of a bigger experience. I'm part of the universe. And what that's given me since then is it's really given me this kind of, I feel better on my own. I'm not too as anxious, don't feel like I need to attach to someone, maybe meet someone, because I sort of feel part of everything. And I think that's what it means to be really spiritually connected. And yeah, when you sort of tap into this, it feels very strange. But you're sort of like, my first reaction is like, oh my God, I don't believe it. Oh, no way. That was like kind of when I was experiencing it. And then like a few other people are sort of saying similar things. And it's very powerful to see that. And it's kind of like time has completely, when people say, like, to understand this as an experience as opposed to intellectually, when people say, time doesn't exist, you understand that if you sort of take everything away, the world and walking around and everything, time doesn't exist. It's just always the present moment. And that is the goal of life, is to really align with the present moment, as I'm sure a lot of people have heard, like you read Eckhart Tolle and these kind of people. But that's it. If you can really align with the present moment, even when things are really bad, even when it's like in a lot of pain, you're going through what you need to go through. And I think the shame with a lot of us is we escape way too much. For most of us, we do it our whole lives. We don't really allow ourselves to feel, to really get in touch with our feelings, to really be present with the present moment. We start to feel uncomfortable, we distract ourselves, And what ayahuasca will do as well is it will allow you to really experience those feelings, that you always run away from. You're like finally faced head on, and you can't escape, because you're on this journey for like 5 or 6 hours, and it's energy. It's energy that sort of passes through you and goes out the other side. And the reason you experience all these different things in these horrible states, and the darkness that exists in the world, is so you can really see who you really are. Because without that polarity, it's impossible. Like if you were light and you were perfect. So that's the reason why I don't think the world is pure abundance and, in a way kind of maybe ran by dark forces. I believe that's because, because we need to figure out who we are. If the world was being run by pure love and abundance, there wouldn't really be any darkness, maybe everyone who was in dark energy would heal. So I sort of feel the world has to be in that dark energy. Which you might sort of feel is what's happening in the world, in the whole COVID situation, just the way everything's being enforced, you can very much fear, like control, that we're all part of. So yeah, I hope this answers some questions in terms of my experience you can look to, but it's like the overall thing I could say is it's like, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. and I finally had access to it. And I don't feel as left out, and I sort of know a deeper knowing of who I really am, which I think you can get to through meditation, but to actually experience it is phenomenal, you know, and on a completely different level. And it's actually quite, I'd say the word is overwhelming. I wouldn't really say but it's also quite scary, fearful. You know, I think the scary and the fearfulness is from letting go completely, like to not being in control. And I think for me, and this is what we have, like an ego. The ego is looking to control reality and your view of how you see the world and how the world is. And for a lot of us, you know, like with myself, holds on to this victim story, you know, that it's me against the world. And what you actually realize is there was some embarrassment when I was on my first ceremony, that I could sort of see other people in the room, and it was like they were kind of laughing at me at the sense of that I didn't really know who I was, you know, and they all sort of knew who they were. So, and then you sort of see that you're exactly the same person as everyone else. So it's very hard to put into words. I think this is just something you have to experience. Like they said, it's, you know, it's like another dimension, fifth dimension, different. You know, this is the 3D world. You know, it's this different reality. But I would say that time is not there. There's just the moment, you know, that is eternal. So when people say we never really die, we don't. We just it's just eternal. It's just present. It goes on forever. But because we're in the world and you know, it's day and it's night, we're saying this is time going past. But if you actually remember, if you actually know, is you've only ever got the present moment. You know, you don't have any other moments. You look to the past, but you have to think to the past. There's always what you have now, and the goal, the spiritual growth, is to more align to the present moment, so you feel more free, rather than you know, you live for the weekend or you live for this particular time. It's like it's always going to be about the present moment. So building healthy habits is a good way, rather than living this roller coaster world. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you do have any other questions on the session, on the ayahuasca experience, or you want to know more, I'm happy to make more videos. So let me know if there's anything in particular you want to discuss. So yeah, look forward to see you soon, guys, and take care.